Happy Tuesday, good evening everyone. So I am just at Tonbridge station in my car. I have just got back from London and I'm about to go and join the Harriers for my Tuesday interval session. I have to do a bit of a Superman job and get ready in my car on a Tuesday because it's quite a quick turnaround. But yeah, I believe the session tonight is 200 metre relays, so it's going to be quite a quick session, as in pace wise. Quite looking forward to it. I haven't done any sort of shorter distance stuff for a little while actually, because obviously doing marathon training I tend to do longer reps, but I do like doing the shorter ones occasionally. So yeah, 200 metres, about probably be 25 minutes ish, and then I might do a slightly extended cool down to get some mileage up and then back home. So yeah, looking forward to it. I'll film a little bit whilst I'm there, but if not, I will see you later on. Ooh, I have to say my legs are still feeling a little sore from Sunday actually. They actually felt pretty good yesterday. In fact, I nearly went for a run on Monday, but I thought better of it and thought best just let myself have a little recovery, and they feel alright today, but not when I've got going. They're not. They are a little bit sore now, so maybe I'll just take tonight a little bit more steadily than I'd planned to, but let's wait and see. They might wake up a bit as I get going, so I can see them all. They're just a bit further ahead of me, but yeah, they managed to start the warm-up a bit earlier. I was a little bit late, my train was a little bit delayed getting into Tonbridge, so I'm a little bit behind them, but I'm sure I'll catch them up. So week ahead, so London tomorrow, so either morning or evening. Not sure what I'm going to do yet in terms of training. Thursday at home, so I'm going to do hills. Friday in London, so I might actually try and get out along the South Bank, which I haven't done for a while, but I used to really enjoy doing that at lunchtime. And then Saturday Parkrun, potentially as part of a longer run, because I can't do my long run this Sunday. I'm down in Southampton, so I'm going to have to work out whether I do it on Sunday or Monday. But Monday is also the Tonbridge Wells Harriers Mile Championships, so just need to work out what I'm going to do. So the Mile Track Championships are a new addition to the calendar this year, so they haven't done them before, and they're being hosted on Bank Holiday Monday as part of a broader track meeting held by TAC, so Tonbridge Athletic Club, but they've agreed to sort of allow us to have a club champs. I'd like to do it, but as I said, it just depends whether I can make it work with my long run. Ultimately, like, my marathon training is priority number one at the moment, so you know, with 7 weeks on Sunday to Chicago, I need to get my long run in at some point. So if I can't do it on Saturday and I need to do it on Monday, then I will. If not, then I might go down and do the track mile, because that'd be quite good fun. But I do need to make a decision in the next couple of days, because I think entries close on Friday, so let's wait and see. But yeah, I've still got to keep my eyes on the main prize, which is the marathon training. Ooh, so that is 5 reps done. Pretty much bang on, about 35 seconds per rep on everyone so far. Yeah, not too attacking. Like, still feel like I've got stuff in the tank, but I'm sure by the time we get to the end of this session it's going to get a lot tougher, because I think we're only 6 or 7 minutes in, and I think it's a 25-minute session, so long way to go, but feeling pretty good so far. So that is Tuesday intervals done with the Harriers. I ended up doing 14 reps of 200 metres. Pretty much bang on, 34 to 35 seconds per rep. Like, absolutely metronomic, which was pretty good. And it wasn't blowing. I felt good. I could have done more, so that was nice to feel like I could have carried on, but the session ended at about, so I think it's about 20, just under 25 minutes in the end. And then I just did a little cool down. So actually, distance wise, I haven't done that much tonight. I've probably only done about 4.5 miles, so about 7k. which is a little bit less than I would have liked. I maybe should have done a slightly longer cool down, but I've been in London all day. I want to get back and get some food and things, so I didn't carry it on. But yeah, encouraging. Like I said in the warm-up, my legs were feeling a little bit achy from Sunday, but actually once they got going, they were all right, and I didn't push it too hard. And a good turnout. Again, there was probably about 15, 16 of us, which was nice. So yeah, back home now, go and get showered, eat something, bedtime, and then I think London again tomorrow. So see you then, bye. Exciting news, I've just got back from intervals, just logged my most recent session on Strava, and excitingly, I hope you can see this, my marathon prediction time is under 3 hours. Right, now we mean business. Just under 8 weeks to go, and Strava now reckons I can run the marathon in under 3 hours. Come on Strava, don't let me down. Good morning, happy Wednesday. So I am just out for a little morning shake out before work. I'm tired this morning and my legs feel a bit sluggish, so it was a bit of a struggle getting out the door. But you have days like that, don't you? So I'm just going to take it very, very easy. Probably just do a little, kind of maybe 4 miles this morning. Just my sort of normal short loop. And then I actually might try and get out again later, rather than pushing it this morning. Because, yeah, as I said, heart and mind, not really in it this morning. But I just wanted to get out and get something done. So, yeah. We will see how this goes, but at least I'm out. So I thought this morning I'd just talk a little bit about kind of my running journey. Actually, I know I talked to you last week about how I started with the Harriers, but I thought it might be good to kind of put some perspective around kind of where I started and kind of where I am now. So, as I said, I've always run like recreationally. I did a little bit of cross country at school. I did the Great North Run with my dad when I was 18. I think I've done it twice actually, the Great North Run. I can't remember when else I did it. Maybe when I was at uni. And as I said, it's always been one of those things that I've mainly done either to try and lose a little bit of weight or just generally sort of keep myself in some sort of fitness. But it's never been one of those things that I've taken particularly seriously. At school I played a lot of cricket, a lot of rugby, played cricket to a reasonable standard, and so running was kind of like just part of any of those sports really. It wasn't something that I did separately, and it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I started taking it a little bit more seriously. As I said, the Preston Guild Marathon in 2012. So that was the first marathon I'd ever kind of trained for. Ended up getting injured about 6 or 7 weeks out with what was now probably some sort of stress fracture in my shin. Had an X-ray but didn't have an MRI. And then basically couldn't walk for a few months afterwards. But did that in 4:44. Was aiming for 4 hours, but I didn't realise quite the difficulties of a marathon at that point. And then kind of had a break and didn't do anything other than sort of the odd like half race or 10k race in between. And then until 2018, which I was lucky enough to get a ballot place for London in the 2018 marathon, and I ran 4:38. Now I was much more happy with that one because that was a really hot day, so I kind of went into that with very, very few expectations, but I still had that kind of monkey on my back of sub 4 hours. So yeah, roll forwards 5 years, 2023, and as I said last week, I was lucky enough to get another place in London in the ballot, so twice, and I decided to train for that one with the running club, and finally ran the sub 4, so ran a 3:44, which I was delighted with. that year, so 2023, I carried on running with the Harriers. I was putting in mileage, but I think more importantly, and this is probably one of the biggest curves for me in sort of improvement, was mixing my runs up. So I was doing easy, I was doing intervals, I was doing longer runs, I was doing tempo runs, and I was getting my body used to kind of doing all these various different types of runs. So yeah, I found my fitness improved pretty quickly after that. And then I didn't get into London again. I think I'd have been very fortunate to get to London in 2024, but I decided to enter the Manchester Marathon in 2024 because I'd heard it was a reasonably flat course, and sort of trained well throughout the winter, and I think in my mind I was aiming for, my goal time originally was a sub 3:30. That was the next kind of logical goal for me, was from 3:44 down to 3:30. But anyway, the training just started going really well. I was running, I think I ran a 29-minute 45 miles, so less than 6 minutes per mile, and yeah, I was fit. And that so then the goal got adjusted to sort of, maybe I can do this in 3 hours 15. And as I got closer, I was like, actually maybe sub 3's on here. And it's one of those, isn't it, where on the day itself I just decided to give it a go. I wasn't in a sub 3 wave, actually. I was a bit further back because my predicted time wasn't there. But miraculously, or I guess through hard work, I managed to run a 2:58:30 at Manchester in 2024. So I broke 3 on my first attempt, which I know is, I guess, a little bit unusual, or certainly, quite a feat, which enabled me to qualify for the Boston Marathon and for Chicago. Albeit it only qualified me for Boston because I was going to be 40 by the time I ran the Boston Marathon, so my time jumped by an age group, so I was quite lucky. And then I ran quite a few PBs last year, towards the end of 2024. Ran a 37 minutes 20ish 10k, a 17:41 5k, and then towards the back end of the last year just tailed off a little bit. We had our 40th birthdays, and yeah, I just wasn't doing quite as much running, I wasn't quite as consistent, and so my fitness dropped off a bit. So that brings me to 2025. So yeah, I set off with the Boston Marathon block right at the end of December 2024. It was going really well. My fitness had returned pretty quickly. I was putting some big mileage in. I was up around 65 miles a week, and then probably about 6 or 7 weeks out, I started getting some pretty bad foot pain. And I ran the Paddock Half Marathon at the beginning of March, and that was fine, but it was the days afterwards I was in a lot of pain. And we went away to Lanzarote on holiday, and I did a run when we landed, and I thought, no, this isn't right at all, and stopped. And from there, basically I was out of action for the next kind of 5 weeks. So I did get a little bit of running in 2 weeks before we had a decision to make. Did I do Boston, or did I pull out? But as many of you will know, if you get a Boston qualifying time, that's quite an achievement to get your place in Boston. So I ran it. So I went with no expectations. I purposefully decided not to attack it, and I actually ran 3:28, which I was really pleased with because it felt controlled, it felt comfortable, and bearing in mind I'd had the best part of kind of 6-7 weeks off training. I hadn't really been doing any kind of bike stuff. As you know, that's not really my favourite. And so yeah, and then that brings us to now. So I'm using my qualifying time from Manchester in sort of April 2024 to to run Chicago Marathon in 2025, and hence why I'd love to run another sub 3, because I know I've got it in me. Chicago is a flat course, and I feel like at the moment the training's going okay, but I guess we will wait and see. So that sort of brings you up to speed really on my running journey so far. Sorry if that was a bit waffly. So that's nearly the end of the run. So I've actually done almost 5 miles, so I did a little bit further. I got a bit carried away when I was doing my monologues about my running journey. I went left instead of right. Left is the 5 mile route, right is the 4 mile route, but never mind. So yeah, it's been pretty easy. Haven't really sort of elevated my heart rate too much, just to try to keep it steady. I can definitely feel my legs being a bit achy. I don't think they've fully recovered from Sunday, and then doing a sort of reasonably hard interval session last night as well. I don't think they're quite there yet. As I said, I might try and get out again a little bit later. I've talked previously about trying to avoid double days, but I'm definitely not going to be able to avoid them entirely in this block, because, you know, as I build my mileage up, it's tricky to fit that amount of mileage in a week with other commitments. So yeah, I might try and get out a little bit later, but we'll see how we get on. So yeah, so that's Wednesday morning run done, 5 miles ish, easy, and I'll see you later on. So in what is a right turn up for the books, I have decided to do a strength and conditioning session this evening rather than going out for another run. My legs are still a little bit achy, and I feel pretty sort of fatigued, so rather than forcing myself out for a run, I thought I'd try and do something different, use some different muscles. So I am just going to do half an hour, maybe a bit of bike, maybe sort of 10-15 minutes, and then sort of 15-20 minutes ish of weights. So not a big session, but better than nothing, and unplanned as well. So there we go. I finally got round to doing some strength and conditioning. Better late than never. Good afternoon, or good evening I should say, and happy Thursday. So I am just doing a post-work shakeout. Now Thursdays I usually do a session with Ian or Luke or Ray, and we'll do hills or intervals or something, but none of those guys can do anything tonight, so I'm out on my own. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, just getting out has been a bit of a struggle. I've just been in a bit of a funk today. Just really struggled to kind of get with it and get motivated. I don't know why. No kind of rhyme or reason behind it. I had a good night's sleep last night. Whoop told me I got almost 8 hours, which is amazing for me. But yeah, I've just been in my own head all day really, and yeah, I felt just didn't want to get out at the end. But I forced myself out, but I'm not going to do hills or intervals or anything like that. I'm literally just appreciating the fact that I've got myself out the door, and yes, this might not be in the plan, but I'm just going to go and enjoy a gentle 4 or 5 miles, get the legs moving, sort of switch the brain on, just clear it a little bit, and then hopefully wake up tomorrow feeling more motivated and refreshed. Let's see. So I've somehow ended up in Denollan Park, basically on the parkrun route. Decided not to do my usual kind of 4 mile loop. I thought I'd come and get some nice fresh air in the park, see the boating lake, and just have a bit more of a scenic run today. Also, just had a call from Claire, because she's in London today,
and she's on the way back. She was like, I've not had a great day. She was like, trying to go for dinner. I was like, that is exactly what I want to do. So I don't think either of us have had a particularly great day. Neither of us on top form. But it's just nice when you're kind of in sync like that, isn't it? Because actually, going for dinner and just sort of trying to get ourselves out of this funk is exactly what I want to do. So yeah, so that'll be nice. So get back, shower and go for dinner. I must just add though, the difficulty in decision making is not around whether we should go for dinner, it's where we go for dinner. So that will be the next point, because Claire and I generally have slightly different preferences when it comes to that sort of thing. I usually lose, obviously, but yeah, so don't know where we're going yet, but I'd imagine it'd be somewhere of Claire's choice. So I'm about 4.5 miles in now to this run, and it is amazing what the power of exercise can do for the mind, isn't it? I've only been going for like, I don't know, 35 minutes-ish, and already I feel exponentially better for getting out and to getting some exercise. I always know this is kind of like my drug, if you like, and I know it makes me feel better, but it still amazes me just how quickly it can turn the mood, or reverse the mood, I should say. So yeah, I'm going to be about 5.5 miles for the session, but this has been a real head clearer, and I'm really glad I got out. Okay, dinner update. We are going for a Chinese. Now, for those of you that have watched a few of these vlogs, you all know that a few weeks ago I talked about some of my least favourite cuisine, of which you'll also remember Chinese was one of them. So you can guess who won this this battle this evening. Never mind, I'm still looking forward to going out for dinner. But yeah, Claire 23, Gareth 0. Yep, same again, same routine. Just pinning me down and licking the sweat off my face. You're gross, aren't you? Oh well.
I don't have to look no further, 'cause I've reached my destination. I used to be lost, but now I'm found, as long as I know.
Good afternoon, happy Friday. So I'm just on a little lunch run at the moment, so just running down the south bank. Couldn't film until now really. I was just weaving my way in and out of people and tourists. Obviously it's school holidays and it's a reasonably nice day, so it's pretty packed down on the south bank. But yeah, I'm just out for a little shake up, probably do about 5 miles. Just yeah, get the legs turned over, 40 minutes-ish, back, shower, and then back to work this afternoon. So yeah, it can be quite tricky getting on any kind of rhythm on these runs, particularly in that first mile and last mile, because as I said, you're just dodging and weaving. But I should be able to be a bit more consistent now, so probably running around about 7:30 per mile at the moment, so fairly steady, nothing too dramatic. So I haven't done this route for a while actually. I used to try and do it weekly, if not a couple of times a week, but work has just been pretty mental, particularly when I'm in London. Sort of packing quite a lot in, so I haven't been able to do this. So I managed to carve some time out in my diary today to get out, and I do really enjoy it. A, because it's flat, and B, just because it's a new route, and it's you know, running down by the Thames. So yeah, it's beautiful. But right, I'm coming around to the turnaround point now.
Come true just to be with you. I'm ready. I'm ready for the good times. Yeah, yeah. This time I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm ready, ready. Oh, I'm ready for the good times to begin. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, yeah. I'm ready for those good times, yeah. Woo. I'm willing and able. My cards on the table. I'm cashing in.
So just coming towards the end of my run now, just on running over Tonbridge, so which will take me to about 5 miles there or thereabouts. So other than a little bit of traffic at the beginning and the end, sort of quite a steady pace. Mostly sort of heart rate zone 2. So, right, back to the office.
Right, there we go. So it is, 5 miles done. I am now back in the office. I'm just about to have a shower. I'm back to work, so 39 minutes-ish. So yeah, hour lunch break, pretty much nailed it really. Tomorrow I think we are just going to do Tonbridge Parkrun because it's local. So I'm going to run down. I'm going to try and do a longish session tomorrow because I can't do maybe anything on Sunday because, like I said, I'm down in Southampton, and then I need to decide by midnight tonight whether I do the track mile, the Harriers track mile on Monday, because again, it's a bank holiday. I could do a longish run because I'm going to be low on mileage this week, which is fine because I can top it up. I'm not really too bothered about that, but yeah, I need to make a decision as to whether I do the track mile as part of a longer run on Monday. But we'll see. Right, see you later.
Good morning and happy Saturday. So I am just out as a little warm-up down to Tonbridge Parkrun because I'm going to try and run longish today, although it might be broken up with a few different runs. So first one is down to Tonbridge Parkrun, which is about 4.5 miles. So this is going to be nice and easy. Then I'll do Parkrun itself, and then I'll decide sort of where I go from there. So my plan for Parkrun this morning is not to look at my watch, but to aim to run around about 20:30, 20:40. So there or thereabouts marathon pace, maybe a little bit quicker. But the plan is to try and run to feel around about that pace, so I'm not having to constantly check my watch to see where I'm at. That's the plan, but let's wait and see.
So we are down at Tonbridge Parkrun, and Claire is in the background, but she doesn't want to speak on camera, so that's fine. It's actually a really lovely day. It's like early 20s, I think it's going to get up to today. It's not that warm now, but yeah, it's pretty good. There's always a lot of people down here. It's usually like, I don't know, 600-700, so it's usually quite a busy parkrun. As I said, my plan this morning is not to go all out, but it is to run on feel, hoping that'll be around marathon pace, but I guess we will wait and see. I've done 5 miles down here, so I should be nice and warm. And then yeah, I'm going to go for a coffee afterwards and then decide if I run home or if I go for another run later. We will see.
Around the halfway point. Feeling okay. Might be a little bit quicker than planned, but there or thereabouts. Around 6:35ish, I think. So that is the end of Parkrun. I actually think I did it pretty much bang on 20 minutes in the end. Didn't check my watch, but I did annoyingly get the mile splits, which I did look at, so I knew broadly what kind of time I was going to do, but it was a little bit quicker, and I definitely picked it up on that last mile. I think I ran 6:15 last mile. But yeah, felt alright. But yeah, I was blown a little bit at the end, but I say for the most part it was fine. So now I'm just running to go and get some coffees for Claire and I, and then probably home. So I did manage to get out for another run today. I know I said earlier that it was probably likely, but thankfully Ray here messaged me earlier this afternoon to say he wanted to go out, so that kind of dragged me away. We'll have done about 7 miles by the time we get home, so that'll take me to 15ish for the day, which is fine, albeit all broken up, because obviously I'm not going to be able to run at all, I don't think, tomorrow. So yeah, so this is old Ray. I say old, he's younger than me, but this is Ray.
35 for another week.
Yeah, 35 for another week. And I have done quite a lot of running over the last few years with Ray, but he's a bit hit and miss because unfortunately he also likes playing golf. So that kind of takes up his time during the summer. But what are your running goals at the moment, Ray?
I think, well, I'm obviously I'm not running super frequently, given we've got a 13-week-old.
True,
That's
yeah.
kind of limiting training a bit. But I think ultimately going back to Paddockwood half marathon and getting a bit of revenge.
Okay.
For my absolute blow up.
And what does a revenge look like?
I think probably, given training's not going to be, as I say, probably as frequent. I think I was in sort of 130 something, so under 140.
Okay.
That'd be good. And in the meantime, I might try and get the 10k time done.
Oh, very good. So there you go. Heard it here first. Ray's going to break 140 at Paddockwood in March next year. Great, right, we're going to crack on.
Good morning, happy Sunday. So I am down at a place called Eastleigh near Southampton today. I haven't really spoken much about this on my vlogs because it's one of those where if it doesn't go well, I don't really want people to know about it. But I've got my final coaching assessment today, so I am doing my level 2, so my coaching in running fitness assessment, which is a practical assessment. So I have to be assessed by a couple of England athletics coaches today, and assessors, sorry. So I've done some session plans. I have to lead a couple of sessions, and then I have to talk about kind of a plan that I've put together for an athlete. So, and that athlete is Ian, who's been in a couple of my vlogs over the last sort of 6 or 7 weeks. Yeah, I'm a bit nervous. I feel like I've done the prep. You know, I feel like I know what I'm talking about. But you just never know with these things, do you? You don't know what's going to crop up or what they're going to ask, or am I going to get stage fright? So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. It's about 8:15. I'm early as ever. I don't have to start till 9, but it's like a 2-hour, well, hour and 45 drive. And you never know what traffic's going to be like, although it is Sunday morning. So yeah, that is my plan today. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to film or whether I'll want to, or whether I'll just be kind of focusing on it. But it's a beautiful day. I've just got to be confident in the kind of prep that I've done. And hopefully I will be speaking to you later as a fully qualified England athletics running coach. And there we go. That is my coaching and running fitness assessment done, and I passed. So I am now officially a qualified England athletics level 2 coach, which is brilliant news. It was actually a really good day. So we had the assessment, the sort of practical assessment this morning. So we were in 2 groups and we did our various warm-ups and drills and main sessions using each other. And then this afternoon was just kind of a 20-minute technical chat through around kind of what I'd learned and development cycles and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we're done. Amazing. And it's only 2:10, so I should be home in good time. But that's a big relief. Like, it was, yeah, it was, I knew I'd done the prep. I knew I should be fine, but you just never know with these kinds of things, do you? So yeah, a big relief now to go home. And we are out for dinner for Ray's birthday tonight, which will be nice. So I don't actually know where we're going. I've kind of let them all arrange that in my absence. So, but yeah, let's just hope the traffic is kind and I get home in reasonable time. But yes, I've passed. That's the main thing. And I can now do some proper coaching. Hello, so I am back from Eastleigh or Southampton now. Got back a little while ago, but I was hoping to try and get out for a run actually, because I'm home earlier than I thought I would be. But my father-in-law and my wife were in the garden when I got back, And so I just sat and did a bit of a debrief with them, and time got away from me, and now I need to go and get ready to go out for dinner. So unfortunately I haven't managed to get out today, but that's fine because I actually hadn't anticipated being able to do any sort of major running today. I did a little bit in the assessments this morning. We were doing some drills and some warm-ups and things, so I have done a little bit of exercise today, but not a major run. So I passed. I'm a coach in running fitness. So what does that mean? So there's 2 levels essentially within England Athletics. You've got a leader in running fitness, which is level 1, and that enables you to lead running groups. So that is, mixed abilities and essentially lead sessions. Level 2 is the coaching in running fitness, which is what I have just passed, and that enables me to create plans and coach individuals on a one-to-one basis, and that was a little bit more rigorous in terms of the course itself. So the leader in running fitness is very much just sort of online classroom based. You do a bit of filming of a session, you send that off to an assessor, and you pass or fail essentially. There's some other modules like health and safety and all those sorts of things as well. Whereas the coaching in running fitness module, the one I've just completed, I had to do 2 days down in Southampton in person with England Athletics coaches, going through the technical aspects of running, kind of how to make a session safe, how to develop a plan for athletes, health and safety, injury prevention, nutrition, all those sorts of things. And it's been really interesting, to be honest, but as I said, it is far more in depth than the original Leader in Running Fitness course that I did. But yeah, so I passed, so that's great. Not sure what I'm going to do with it for now. I do enjoy coaching, whether that be in a work or a sort of running capacity, so coaching is something that I enjoy. So I might just start helping out a little bit more with the club, maybe. But yeah, I've got the qualification. I would like to use it in some capacity, but I don't know how exactly I'm going to do that yet. In terms of my week of running this week, it has been a low week. I've only done about 36, 37 miles, so I guess you'd call that a deload week. But again, I sort of knew that was going to happen this week with everything that was going on, and I'm fine with that. I have been ramping my mileage up fairly heavily over the last sort of 7 or 8 weeks, so a deload week's not a problem. I'll try and get that back up again next week. And I have decided to enter the Harriers Mile Championships tomorrow. So that is tomorrow afternoon, and it looks like it is going to be warm. But I am also going to try and do a longish run as sort of a warm-up beforehand, so like 10, 11 miles, and make the most of the fact that, it's a Monday, not working, and I didn't really get anything done today, albeit I did 15 miles broken yesterday. So yeah, 10, 11 mile warm-up for a track mile, what could go wrong? But yeah, I know that I've not got a chance of winning the actual race itself. So it's really just a competition against, my own time. I've run a 5:11 in training previously. I mean, this was probably going back last year. I'm probably not quite as fit as I was then, so anywhere around 5:20ish I think would be nice. But again, I might have slightly fatigued legs. I'll make all the excuses now. So yeah, there we go. So that's my week in summary. Deload week, become a qualified running coach, and yeah, they are the highlights, I guess. So 7 weeks to Chicago, 49 days today, and onwards and upwards.